Hello and welcome to Sarat Chandra IAS Academy, where your dreams are our mission. This is Yatharth here, and today we'll be talking about Ashokan Edicts in Delhi. We'll see the history and we'll see the current affairs part from the news. So, history is important here, more important than the current affair part, because the questions from this topic often come from the history only. But let's see the current affair also, the news also, so we can relate to the part. So, three Ashokan era edicts found their place in Delhi. So what is era here? Era means a period of time. So we'll see what era we are talking about. We'll see the locations as well and some mapping. Alright. So in the heart of South Delhi, near Kalkaji temple and east of Kailash, one can find a piece of history that predates the Chahamanas. Chahamanas is basically Chauhan rulers. Lodhis, you must be knowing already about Lodhis. We'll cover them in some other video. And Khiljis by several centuries. The rock edict. So we'll see the type of these edicts also. Rock edict, pillar edicts, etc. One among several scattered in different parts of the country. Narrates Emperor Ashoka's policy of Dhamma. So what is this Dhamma? This was associated with the Buddhism. Dhamma is, let's say, another name for Dharma. So Buddhism has this concept Dhamma, Pitaka, etc. So we'll talk about this. So which he began to disseminate after embracing Buddhism and Ahimsa, following his conquest in the bloody battle for Kalinga. So Kalinga war is also an important event in the life of Ashoka and Indian history. So we'll be talking about that also a bit. So historian Upinder Singh in his book Delhi Ancient History surmises that the edict was placed near this spot where Kalkaji temple stands today, as the area could have been an older shrine predating the temples. Perhaps the rock edict was placed to borrow legitimacy from the older shrine, she adds, emphasizing it could be a pure speculation. So these are basically theories that why the edict is placed in Delhi. What is the significance of Delhi and as well as edict? So there are few theories that it could have been brought to the Delhi, or it could have been naturally placed by Ashoka himself in Delhi. Alright. So, Professor of History in Dean, this is not important. So, the area, there's different theory about this edict being placed in Delhi. That the area fell on the arterial trade route that connected the northwest part of the subcontinent to the Gangetic Plains. The fact that a Mughal cause minor milestone was placed in the same area proves that it was along a major trade route. So it's also important for us to see once the trade routes that were located in the north of India. Earlier, the geography, the socio-political geography was little different. This part also came under India. So India was a major hub for the trade. And there are many edicts also placed in Afghanistan in the Kharoshti script. Okay. So the two spots where one can find Ashokan edicts in Delhi are on two pillars. One near Hindura Hospital. It's not important. What's important is here who brought them. So one is Firoz Shah Kotla. So they were not originally established in Delhi. Originally from Topra near Haryana and Meerut respectively. The columns were brought to the capital by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Alright. He's son of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, who ruled Delhi in the 14th century. So you must have read about the Tughlaq dynasty. So legend goes that the emperor was fascinated by the pillars, and Shams Sharif Afif in Tariq-e-Firoz Shahi. This book is important. Sometimes it is asked in exams that who wrote the Tariq-e-Firoz Shahi. So Shams Shiraz Afif recalls how locals told the king that the pillars were trade walking stick of Bhima from Mahabharata. Not important. So basically Firoz Shah Tughlaq was the one who brought these pillars to Delhi, and it is mentioned in the book, which one? Tariq-e-Firoz Shahi by Shams Shiraz Afif. The Topra pillar, Topra is near Haryana, is a 12th century inscription by Chauhan king Vigraharaj IV, boasting of his consequence of Vindhyas. He was a predecessor of Prithviraj Chauhan. Prithviraj Chauhan was the one who fought the Battle of Tarain with Muhammad Gauri. So from here only the sublimation of, let's say, Delhi area started. after Muhammad Ghori's successful invasion in the Second Battle of the Rhine in 1196 and restored Aryan dominance over this land. Alright, so Bigraraj Chaturth was, or the fourth, was a great king before the Prithviraj. Okay, so what we see further, what we come to know from this discussion of video is the edicts of Ashoka. So this is the important part for us to see and think about. Alright, so let's talk about the edict of Ashoka. But first and foremost, we must talk about the Ashoka himself. So let's begin with the Ashoka. So Ashoka's reign or period was 268 CE to 232 BC. Alright. This both are in BC. Alright, C matlab century. Okay, parents. The Ashoka's parents were what? Bindusara. Bindusara was the son of Chandragupta. I hope you know that. And Ashoka's mother name was Shubhadrangi. His religion was primarily Buddhism. Later on, he converted to Buddhism. I hope you know that Chandragupta, he was a Jainist. And Bindusara, he had reverence for various different religions, but he worshipped Ajivika sect as well as the Vaishnav sects. Buddhism, although it came under Ashoka, the Theravada Buddhism. Alright, his successor was Dashrath. Ashoka's successor was Dashrath. But he was the last great king of this dynasty. Other things we should know about Ashoka is that his coronation took place in 268. He died in Pataliputra. There were many spouses. Some are Devi and Karvaki, Padmavati. There are many spouses, and he had many sons also, Mahendra and Sangamitra. They are both very important. Mahendra as well as Sangamitra. As you may be remembering, these were the ones who he sent to Sri Lanka in order to preach Buddhism. Which Buddhism? Hinayan or Theravada Buddhism. I hope you know the difference between Theravada and Mahayana Buddhism already. What's important thing is here to know that in which councils they were differentiated, as well as what are the basic difference between them. This is, let's say right now, more popular in the Southeast Asia. Theravada is more popular in Sri Lanka. There are many differences, so you can see them later on. Okay, what we see in the edicts, so from where the edicts have been found, let us see a very simple map. Let's assume this is India. Alright, then there have been edicts have been by Ashoka released in two names. One is Piyadasi or Devanpiya. So what's the difference between them? The edicts with the name Piyadasi have been found from the outer portion rather, like Kandhar. Then there are few from Kashmir also, in the Mansehra and Shahbaz Ganjri. Then this Topra and Meerut pillars we talked about. The edicts from here are also in the name of Piyadasi. There are few more edicts from Khalsi here, Girnar, very important site. Swapara in Maharashtra. Then there is Sannati and Yeragudi. Alright, this mapping is very important. Jaugada and Dhauli. Alright, so these mapping you must remember for the Ashokan edicts. You can make a map yourself also. From the internal parts, the edicts were obtained in the name of Devanpiya. I'll map some important portions. There are Bairat, let's say, in the Jaipur site, and Bahabru. It's near Madhya Pradesh. Then Gujjara. There is Sarasam also. Sarasam is in Bihar. And Athroda. This is also close by. Then there is Sarnath. So this here the name were Devampiya or king. So the important questions come from mapping only. What are the questions that can be made from here? That what is the script? What is the language? What is the location of these edicts? And what is the significance of a certain edict? Alright. One thing that you must remember is that edict does not itself mean a stone. Okay, edict means a text basically. So Ashoka had various different texts. Let's say edict number 1, edict number 2, edict number 3. So what he did, let's say he copy pasted this 1 and 2 on a stone. So this would become a, let's say, pillar edict. Location is specified. So this means at this location itself, whenever you read the stone, this number 1 text and number 2 text is copy pasted. Okay. These can be found together sometimes only, let's say, 1 and 3 are found. Sometimes, let's say, 11th and 12th are found. So it depends on various different locations. What's important for us is what is inside the first text. Okay, that is edict number 1. So let us see a bit because this is very important. We'll also see the language and script later on. So when we talk about the edicts, there are 4 type of edicts. There are minor rock edicts. There are minor pillar edicts. Then there are major rock edicts. And there are minor rock edicts also. So what we need to see, minor pillar. So minor pillars are inscribed at the beginning of Ashoka's reign in Prakrit, Greek and Aramaic. Please remember the language. Prakrit, Greek and Aramaic script. Alright, minor pillar edicts. Sorry, let's do it again. There's been some misunderstanding in the map. We'll classify this as this, pillars. So 2 types we'll see, minor, so that you don't confuse later, as well as major. So minor pillar edicts, when we see, these are Shishma edict, Queen edict, Rudramani edict, Sagar edict in Prakrit. They are mostly in Prakrit. And major pillar edicts, there are 7 edicts actually, ascribed at the end of Ashoka's reign. And they are in Prakrit. Alright, when we go to the rock edicts, rock are of again 2 types, minor and major. So minor rock edicts are inscribed at the beginning of Ashoka's reign. Alright, they are in Prakrit, Greek and Aramaic. And when we see about the rock edict, the major ones, so these are very important. These are the most important ones. So these are 14 edicts. Please remember 14 edicts means only 14 types of text. I am not saying that there are 14 locations on which these edicts have been found. There are multiple locations. Alright. So 2 edicts, 2 separate ones are found in Odisha and Prakrit and Greek. So 14 are major, plus there are 2 there in Odisha. They have not been found elsewhere. Okay, these edicts have been found elsewhere also. Okay, let's go further. So let's quickly just read about the major rock edicts because they are the most important. Questions mainly come from this only, major rock edicts. Questions very slightly only come from any pillar edicts. So edict number 1 of the major rock edict, it prohibits animal slaughter. Okay, this will also tell about the rule of Ashoka, that what he was against, what he was pro. So edict number 2 describes Chola, Pandya, Satyapura and Chera, the Greek king Antiochus II. So it gives us information about various different kings. Edict number 4, it tells us about the Dhamma. So this is very important, the most important one, edict number 4. Edict number 5 tells us about the policy of slaves, policy on slave. So slavery was prevalent in the Mauryan Empire, yes. Okay, so this please remember. Then the 7th edict, number 7 text, it tells us about the tolerance for all religions. Going on further, then the edict number 8 tells us about the first yatra to Bodh Gaya. Okay, what is the significance of Bodh Gaya? You tell me in the comment section. The 12th edict tells us about the Ashoka's victory over Kalinga, the Kalinga War, and mentions the victory of Dhamma in South India among the Cholas and Pandyas as far as Ceylon. So what this meant to say that Ashoka's empire explicitly did not come to South India often, but they were friendly relations with the southern kingdoms. Alright, and he was allowed to go from here to here, Sri Lanka, and furthermore preach the Buddhism. So were South Indian kingdom completely subjugated under Ashoka? No, but did they have friendly relations? Yes. And they may have subjugated, but not a direct rule was not there. Alright. So this has to be taken care of. Okay, what is the language of the edicts? This is very important. Language on the edicts is 3 languages can be observed. One is Indian, one is Prakrit, and one is Greek. So please remember the difference between the language and script. Language is what is written and script is how it is written. Alright, so Indian was written in non-standardized Prakrit. The Prakrit language was written in Brahmi or Kharoshthi script sometimes, and the Greek was written in Aramaic. Alright, let's very quickly see the locations as well from where these edicts have been obtained. The major locations I am talking about only. So from where they have obtained? Kandahar. This is in Afghanistan. Then Yeragudi is in Andhra Pradesh. Yeragudi is in Andhra Pradesh. Then there is Girnar in Gujarat. There is Dholi in Odisha. Then there is Jadugada or Jaugada. It is also in Odisha. Just a second. Alright, where more? Khalsi in Uttarakhand. Then there is Sopara in Maharashtra. There is Shahbaz Gadi. This is in Pakistan. There is Mansehra, again in Pakistan. There is Sannathi. This is in Karnataka. Alright, so these are the locations of the major rock edicts. These must be remembered. All of them must be remembered and mapped on the map. You may be able to map them on the map. I've already shown you. 2 more important things that you must remember, that they were deciphered mainly by James Prinsep. He was also the one who deciphered the Indus Valley civilization seals, some of them at least. So this is an important information. The last thing that we need to know is what we learned from the edicts. So from major pillar edicts 7 and 2, we learn right behavior and dhamma, tolerance for all religions, roadside facilities of Mauryan Empire. What else do we learn from major number edict 4, 5, major rock edict 1, etc.? There is benevolence towards prisoners, animals and officers of faith. Just remember the policy towards animals and slaves. We learn about Buddhism from major rock edict number 3. One more important thing that we learn from major pillar edict number 1 is belief in a next world. Alright. We saw there's one important edict also. I'll tell you. This is Rummidei edict in Lumbini, Nepal. So this tells about the Lumbini as the birthplace of Buddha. Lumbini as the birthplace of Buddha. Which edict? It is Rummidei edict in Nepal. It also uses the epithet Shakya Muni because he was from Shakya clan. So Shakya Muni for Buddha. So this is the important part. Now you can, I hope, map all the edits, the major edits at least. You can also see in the mapping for the minor rock edits and other rock edits. Just remember the important questions about them. So this is all for this lecture. I hope you enjoyed the lecture. Thank you very much for watching. Keep studying and keep growing. This is Yatharthya signing off. See you in the next video.